Ladies and gentlemen, organizers of the conference, thank you for coming to listen to my report. First of all, I'd like to tell you about ANCORT Company. ANCORT Company was founded in 1990, so it's been successfully working for 22 years. This is one of our first encryption devices, Electronica MK85C. In the West, it is considered to be the most secure encryption device. It was used by the Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, President of Russia, the airborne troops, as well as the Central Bank of Russia. Indeed, it's a unique encoder which was manufactured by tens of thousands and used by many hotspots, not only in Russia, but also abroad. Here you can see ANCORT activities around the world. We have equipped 64 countries of the world. The countries where we have our buyers are indicated in red, and the countries where we produce our equipment are indicated in the blue color. We manufacture our products in Switzerland, South Africa, Malaysia, South Korea, and Colombia. Why have we achieved this success? The most important thing in cryptography is trust. If you trust the company, you will buy its products. You have been engaged in the field of security for many years, so you understand that if the client's trust in the company which manufactures products is most important for success. Therefore, ANCORT has certified its crypto algorithms. Our algorithm was certified by the government of South Africa and the government of Sweden. None of the Russian companies have undertaken such a certification. The certification lasted for rather a long time, nearly 2 years, and 2 independent states formally recognized that it was impossible to break the cryptographic algorithms developed by ANCORT using the feasible time of computation, say less than the age of the universe, as it is written in the Swedish certificate. This is an official certificate, and many countries received it when they purchased our equipment as the proof that our technique was almost unbreakable. That was why our equipment was bought in 64 countries. We cooperate with many countries, for example, the South Africans, where we certified our products, and with the company Samsung. We designed a crypto post with Samsung, and it was successfully sold. This is an analog crypto telephone, the joint development with the South African company. The governments of many African countries were equipped with these phones. This is one of our developments, a mobile crypto smartphone. It was developed 4 years ago, but it is still considered to be one of the most reliable devices in Europe. It is sold in Russia as well, but unfortunately not in the same quantities as abroad. Here is our exclusive mobile phone, decorated with diamonds. The whole world wrote about it. This telephone was mentioned only in the internet more than 10 million times. Of course, it was our publicity stunt to attract wealthy customers, and it proved its value. ANCORT Company developed cryptographic devices to process data, and then we proceeded to the protection of a mobile phone. The reason is the following. The number of mobile phones has rapidly increased in the last 5 to 6 years. Here on the diagram, you can see that the number of phones all over the world has reached 6 billion in a world of 6.9 billion people. This progress is unusual for civilization and can be compared with the invention of the wheel. Leonardo da Vinci predicted almost 600 years ago that people would probably exchange hemispheres and connect to any continent in the world. So the main goal of ANCORT now is the protection of mobile phones. The reason is as follows. Strange as it may seem, but mobile phone protection is minimal, though their numbers have dramatically increased. And hijacking attacks have recently dramatically increased as well. Symantec company declared that last year hackers had gained a whopping amount of $400 billion and assumed that the hackers' profit could double or even triple. That is, in fact, the beginning of the so-called information war, because hackers' income can be compared to the incomes of rather large countries. I'll explain in short why hackers can access mobile phones. We found out that by 2014, 80% of all links to the internet would be performed via mobile phones. But we know that Dr. Robert Kahn and Dr. Vinton Cerf, the founders of the internet, said that the internet couldn't be made safe unless the new internet is designed to secure the network. Naturally, we expect the rapid growth of mobile phone crime. Why did this happen? Here you can see the increase of computer performance and hackers' ability to break computer systems. For example, hackers can select 8.2 billion passwords per second using a standard PC. 3 years ago, only special computers had the capacity for such processing. Now these computers are available and hackers can get access to data. And you may know nearly 6 million LinkedIn passwords have been hacked, and LinkedIn officially stated that the leakage has been caused by weak encryption. Here we see, and this data is open, that almost 80% of mobile phones don't have any protection. Why? Well, probably because technology is evolving rapidly. Multinational companies get super profits. They tend to throw faster and more new models into the market, but they can't care much about security. I think a modern phone can be compared to an information crystal castle, which hackers can break at any time. Last year, I made a speech at a conference in Hong Kong dedicated to mobile payments. Around 40 to 50 large companies from China, Japan, and other countries addressed the conference. Most of them, Indian and Chinese companies in particular, offered bank client protection methods for mobile phones, mainly via SMS. Well, of course, only small payments, not more than $100, may be transferred using these methods. Large amounts of money cannot be transferred using such protection systems. That's why we decided to develop the phone security and create a device outside the phone operating system. I think sooner or later hackers may find loopholes inside phone protection and break it. So we designed a stealth phone. It's connected with a mobile phone via Bluetooth and protects voice, data, SMS, and MMS. In the future, it will provide the protection for video. The significant feature of our phone is that the phone, and most important, its keys, cannot be affected by any viruses. We've demonstrated our device at the 4 largest international exhibitions. It doesn't have analogs anywhere in the world. Its closest analog was designed by Rode at Schwartz, the largest company in the field of cryptography. They've provided only voice protection, but haven't gone any further. Their booth at the CeBIT exhibition was next to ours. They were surprised that the Russians could make such a device. But we're not the second. We can also demonstrate the devices which may be the first, and we should demonstrate them. The cost of information security market in Hong Kong, for example, has reached $80 billion. So I believe that the biggest cryptographic power like Russia can compete in this market. The structural scheme shows the protection provided by our stealth phone. Detailed information about it is available on our website. Stealth phone runs on all mobile operating systems: iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, and Symbian. Windows operating system is now next in line. There are 2 processors in the stealth phone. The DSP processor encrypts information. Our telephone has 2 microphones, which improves voice quality. It's a special feature of our phone. There are 2 SD cards embedded in the stealth phone. Keys are saved on one of them, and the second SD card encrypts information. It is very convenient. You can pull out the SD card, carry it in your pocket, and pass to anyone. This is the key generation system. We have our own SIP server. It is now located in Germany, Canada, and Singapore. We've implemented crypto IP to encrypt information via standard computers. This is not only mobile phone protection, it's a kind of e-token, but of a higher level. These are the stealth phone applications: e-government, mobile banking, e-insurance, and it may be widely used in different spheres of life. Here you can see that we also use the public key distribution of our software emulator. I'll speak about it later. Here are the 3 versions of our stealth phone. This is the stealth phone, designed according to Tempest standard. The second is stealth phone Touch. And the third is the emulator, which can be downloaded on mobile phones. What do we need it for? You know how difficult it is to convince customers that it's necessary to secure information. Every person knows that he should lock the door when he's leaving his apartment or car. But many people don't realize that they should secure their information because it's also valuable. We designed a cheap model for those who doubt and want to test how it works. The stealth phone emulator costs $100. You can now try its functions. If you want to increase your security, you can buy a more expensive model. These are the phones compatible with our stealth phone. iPhone, Samsung, BlackBerry, HTC, Nokia, LG, Motorola, and Sony. Now I'd like to discuss the fact which is not talked about much in Russia. Maybe you have heard about transactions in fake avisos in 1992. ANCORT was invited to provide security for the Central Bank of Russia. We equipped nearly 2,000 branches of the central bank and trained 6,000 central bank code clerks. Most of them were women. For comparison, the total number of code clerks trained during the Second World War was smaller. This was really the information warfare. Unfortunately, Russia doesn't really understand that was defeated in the wars in the 20th and 21st century due to the information war. In 1914, Samsonov's army communicated over the open lines and was defeated. In 1941, a huge amount of code pads were lost and the Soviet army communicated over open lines. It was in Afghanistan. I can give you detailed accounts about it. The same thing happened in Chechnya. General Troshev wrote in his book, My War, "We paid in blood because we didn't have encoders." ANCORT Company made a gift to the Army and the Ministry of Interior to save our soldiers in Chechnya and provided them with cryptographic equipment worth several $million. Information warfare is unfolding with great force. I suppose the United States realized it. The American president said the fight against hackers and information security was the top priority for America. Everyone keeps silent about it in this country, though we have suffered enormous losses due to the information war. A lot of people ask me about the Arab revolutions. I have been working with the Arab countries and the top officials of the Arab countries for more than 20 years, and I have witnessed many events. Here, many people ask me what caused the Arab revolutions. They name a lot of reasons, but they don't mention one of them. Hackers, criminals, and possibly some other structures, government structures and security forces, gather compromising material on many public servants and force to work for them. Otherwise, they publish the worthy conclusions on the internet. Why do so many government employees, especially those who serve in the army and law enforcement organizations, leave Syria? This is one of the reasons. I am sure about it because I've been to all these countries, and in Syria, for example, many encryption devices were certified for the public use. Today, personal information of public servants, especially those who serve in the police and in the army, is of the same importance as the state information. I'll give an example. A few years ago, the hero of Russia, the commander of the airborne troops, spoke on the phone with his son. Their conversation was intercepted, modified, and published to discredit the respected general. No one can feel secured against it. We are affected by criminal elements more and more. So I have a proposal to our Russian government. I want to make a present for public servants. It will be our software, which they can download into their phones and securely communicate with their families. We don't need any revolutions. We don't need any shocks, wars, and repressions. Russia needs a stable society for many years. Peaceful development is the main goal of our country. Russia has had enough political upheavals in the last 100 years. I invite you to visit our booth in the lobby, where my staff is demonstrating the operation of our device. Thank you for your attention.
Добрый день. Руководитель отдела информационной безопасности компании лаборатории Касперского. Я считаю, что внедрение любых средств защиты, защиты голоса, трафика, необходимо это делать только на основании оценки реальных рисков. То есть необходимо комплекс мер. Но, естественно, ваше решение, если при условии, что должной оценки рисков, оно действительно может быть актуально и в каких-то компаниях может быть использовано.
Ну, вот эта система для меня лично, она не очень сейчас актуальна, потому что у меня нет таких секретных разговоров никаких, я не пользуюсь интернетом через телефон. Но думаю, что у людей, которым есть что скрывать, я думаю, что для них она очень актуальна. И, в принципе, я думаю, что, наверное, в будущем, я не исключаю, что и сама буду этим пользоваться, тем более, что, насколько я понимаю, это в России это значительно дешевле стоит, чем в Европе. Почему бы этим не воспользоваться?
Мы каждый день сталкиваемся с мобильными устройствами, с телефонами, мобильные приложения очень часто используем, и все это необходимо защищать, потому что защита информации сейчас имеет очень большое значение, потому что утечка может нести колоссальные расходы как для бизнеса, так и для одного конкретного человека.
Я думаю, что в реалиях нашего времени это, естественно, необходимость, и это проблема не только там нашей страны, да, что нам нужно шифрование, вообще защита от каких-то там угроз, вмешательств. Мобильная техника, она просто очень распространена, и люди действительно стали использовать мобильную технику как средство не только коммуникации, да, но и используют ее в работе, берут домой, выносят, естественно, какую-то информацию. Все хранится на флешках внутри, и поэтому возникает необходимость как-то вот компаниям обезопасить себя от утечки информации.
Очень хорошо, что есть решение, которое помогает защите информации. Если у меня появится такая все же необходимость приобретения смартфона, я думаю, что я подумаю о шифровании и присмотрюсь как раз к решениям, которые представлены сегодня на мероприятии.